Hello, Internet. And so today I will be talking about a book. But before we get into that book, I want to inform you of something I've come to realize. There are two types of adventure romance books. The first type focuses on the romance, and the adventure is there as a catalyst for that love. The second type is an adventure story, and romance is put in there as a interesting subplot, so we see our hero and their love interest. This is definitely romance based versus adventure based. So now on to the book opinion. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst. And, of course, by my nature, I have to talk about this beautiful cover first. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, as I didn't realize it until I held it in my hand, but the calligraphy lettering here is 3D. It's like this gold, and it's 3D, and it's beautiful. It's just fascinating to look at. And I am not quite sure how they did it, but it turned out perfect and doesn't look cheesy at all, like when you were a kid and you used word art all the time. Like, no, this is obviously not made by word art. So this book, of course, focuses on the romance between two princesses. One is Denna and the other is Mare. They have longer, more complex names because, of course, this is a high fantasy, and the author insists on using names that I don't really know how to pronounce without a verbal pronunciation guide. Sorry, stumbling over words there. So I'm gonna call them Denna and Mare, their nicknames. So these two girls come together because Denna has been betrothed from a young age to Mare's brother, Thandi. Now, she finds out when she gets there that she has to learn how to ride a horse, as their society really loves horses, and in a ceremony that she has to do for the wedding, she has to ride a horse. So that's how these two come together, and slowly we watch their romance grow and their interests grow. From the first page, you can see that they're attracted to each other, at least interest to each other. They are not quite certain and quite aware of this fact yet, but it is a slow burn, and I love that. Insta love is a thing that we all want to get rid of. Most readers don't really enjoy it, and this definitely isn't insta love. You have to read half the book before they're even realizing they're in love, even though you as the reader have been witnessing their attraction and affection grow for each other. Magnificent. It is a perfect romance book. Now, the only thing that you really need to know before you get into this book is that it will focus on that romance more than it will focus on the adventure. By the dust jacket and by any descriptions you read about the book, it does tell you that adventure plot, and it ends on the line, "Oh, as these two grow closer together." But let me warn you, it is mainly going to focus on that romance, and the adventure is the catalyst that brings them closer together and brings them to be lovers in the end. Another thing that I really love about this, and I think Coulthurst made magnificent, is the fact that Denna does not choose Mare because her fiance is an awful person. Thandi is very arrogant, and you might want to punch him in the face a few times, but he's not evil. And so many times when we have semi-love triangles like this, the person who's promised to another ends up choosing the new love interest simply because that promised love interest is a really terrible or awful person and is just the worst. So they're kind of pushed towards this new one that you want them to get together with. This isn't the case here. Thandi is a perfectly okay dude. Dana just doesn't love him. She loves Mare, and I think that was a wonderful thing to do, to show that this love is just a natural progression of two people falling for each other and not one person being pushed onto another because the third person in this is really awful. Next thing about that I really like is the fact that you see a natural progression of their love. It's not instant. It's not even, I guess it's them slowly becoming friends and then them realizing their affection for each other, and it's just this natural progression of this. And the thing that keeps them apart isn't the fact that they're two females who are in love, but it's the fact that Denna Denna is betrothed to the future king. So that's what causes the issue for why they can't get together. Because in the world that Coulthurst sets up, it's not about them being a same sex. Same sex love and marriage and relations is completely normal. There's nothing wrong with it. The thing that keeps them apart here is simply their social standings and the fact that Denna is promised to be future king and married off to Thandi, and Mare is the unliked princess and seen as a undesirable by everyone else. Now, there is of course the adventure side, and if you really need adventure in your romance books, this is definitely for you. While yes, this romance takes first place above the adventure is still there because, like I said, it's the catalyst for everything. So what draws them together is some very action-packed scenes, some very tense moments, and that, I think, is what made me love this book. I am not particularly one that always focuses on romance. I really do like my action and adventure, but I do like my romance and I want the action and adventure. So as long as there is a balance and I'm aware of which one comes first before the other, I love the book, and I think you will too if you go into the book understanding that it's romance over adventure rather than adventure over romance. So that's all I have for my book opinion. Of Fire and Storms is a really awesome book, and I think it is the perfect romance book for Valentine's Day by my professional prophetic opinion. So that's all I have for you today. If you would like a more comprehensive book opinion, I do have a written one. Link is down below to where you can find it. My social medias are linked down below. Subscribe if you like it. Ring the bell if you want to be notified of my other videos. Otherwise, goodbye internet. And I hope you're happy with whoever you're spending your time with. Whether it's with a loved one or a good book, happy Valentine's Day.